One of them was that I couldn't afford to come to London School of Economics.
Yeah.
And I just didn't know what to do with my life. And I went on to practice a bit of theatre. And one thing led to the other, and television was a big boom in India.
Yeah.
Suddenly came in and television series, Hum Log.
Yes.
You saying yes, you were too young for that.
You know, I probably was.
You were not born then. And it was a very exciting time for wannabe actors.
Yes.
Wanting to try doing something. I say wannabe actors, actually wannabe actors. I didn't even know if I could act. I got these little opportunities, one thing led to the other. So nowhere did I know that when I donned the army uniform for acting in the series 40, that I would be sitting here in London and talking with you.
Oh, yeah.
Who's feeling knowledge of Hamlo. But yeah, it's just I never thought of it.
Well, you know what? Your dialogue that you said in Om Shanti Home, as actually your career, your life has become a testament to that Kitni Shiddat se, that whole entire dialogue. It's almost like dreams do come true. And as Anupam Kher so often says in his chat show, kuch bhi ho sakta hai. And you are a pure example of that anything is possible. That, no matter how much you dream, you will become successful. And you are a testament to that, Shah Rukh.
Actually, the strange bedfellow, the most amazing thing about success is the things that are very innocuous and you don't mean them, they also become codes of yours if you become successful. If my friends hadn't done well, the same dialogue would sound so silly. इतनी शिद्दत से मैंने तुम्हें पाने की कोशिश की है कि हर ज़र्रे ने मुझे तुमसे मिलाने की साजिश की है.
What did you say the dialogue? You stole my...
If I was on top of 20 flops and I hadn't done well, it sounds really stupid. What's he trying to say? We don't understand. So, like I said, there have been a lot of good things that have happened.
Yeah.
One of them is that people do believe a lot of the dialogues are saying films, and I hope. I've never understood the power of Indian cinema fully, completely. Actually, it is difficult for everyone to analyze because such a diverse nation, so many people coming together to be entertained under one roof, hoping to watch that one film which kind of appeals to everyone, to the grandmother, to the grandchild, to the granddaughter, to the wife, to the husband, to the young boy. So it's very diverse, and the power of Indian cinema is actually the power of Indian cinema cannot be harnessed by a mere movie star like me. Actually, it's the power of Indian cinema which makes movie stars like us.
Oh, it's amazing. Now today we are celebrating Game Changers of India. So what does the term game changing mean to you, Shah Rukh?
I think, I know a lot of wonderful people here, marvelous people who've achieved so much in life around the globe and continue to do so. I recognize some of them, and I know all people here are great achievers and have been game changers. I think the one ability most of them perhaps will agree to is that the ability to keep on making mistakes or wanting to take a chance with making mistakes. And whenever you get the opportunity, through your hard work, through your perseverance, through your knowledge, through the business practices or the capacity that you have to lead people, and when good things happen, then I think the final thing would always be that you set out to make a mistake. You were not scared to make a mistake. You were not set out to fail. And I would take this opportunity to thank a lot of people, which means my directors, the producers, actors, actresses, the audience especially, for allowing me to continue unencumbered with any idea that I had, not only of changing Indian cinema or trying to do a role which has never been done, but my own set piece ideas. They gave me the ability to just go ahead and give it a shot, try and go wrong if I may. And more often than not, they didn't allow me to go wrong. As a matter of fact, I tell everybody, like I said, I'll take this opportunity to thank a lot of people around me who don't get named, because a movie star is a poster boy, so everything gets attributed to him or her. And more often than not, we never see the men and women behind the scenes making this movie star happen or do the stuff that he does. And I would like to thank people. I first apologize if I say something wrong in terms of business. I think business has become about millions and profits and about projections and about targets. And I fully respect the managerial capacity of business. But I personally feel it's a word that I call that the people who worked with me allowed me an imaginarial capacity.
Sure.
They allowed me to imagine, and they managed that imagination. So all this, I think, when you become a claim changer, you can't take it upon yourself. I think there are loads of people, and especially the audience around the world, who accepts you doing the stuff that you do and take it upon themselves to think it's entertaining.
And I like to call you the true Bazigari Badshah because of how you've been so amazing with all the work you've done, and I've grown up watching your work, and for me it makes me so proud to kind of see the work that you've done. So thank you so much for giving us the amazing Hindi cinema that we know today, so thank you so much for that, Shah Rukh. Now, of course, entertainment is a high-risk business, as we just touched upon. So what factors do you, as an entrepreneur of cinema, do you take into consideration when deciding to choose a specific product and a specific project as well?
I think anything that is creative or semi-creative, like Indian cinema is, you have to. A lot of my friends, big filmmakers like Aditya Chopra, Sanjay Leela Bhansali, Karan Johar, all who have contributed to my success, they always keep on harping on about one thing, and rightly so. That is an industry first, and then the imagination has to run wild. So I think the two things that you consider is, can you be new without, I always tell people, I would like to make cinema and tell stories which will change your perspective, but not shake the ground that you sit on, because Indian films are very deep into culture, and sometimes we can't completely shake up the ground that you're sitting on.
Yes.
So the whole concept, when you're thinking of a movie, or when you're trying to make a product, which is for a big market, a billion people, out of which about 15 crores to 14 crore people watch it, if your film is a big hit like that way. If you have that kind of audience, you need to somehow strike a balance between creativity and kind of giving a sensibility which is acceptable. Like I said, it's still a community viewing in India to a large extent. Of course, there is individual viewing now, which is changing with multiplexes and all the digital platforms, but still is. Cinema watching is still a community viewing. You do watch it with your families at home and go outside together on a weekend. So you need to keep a balance between full-fledged, high-flying creativity and retaining a certain amount of the ground that people are used to seeing drama and theatre in our country. So it has to be a balance between creativity and somehow it's a difficult balance. The last 4 films I failed miserably trying to do it. But you keep trying and striving and hope it's new, and hopefully it will get the business done.
As I say, कोशिश करने वालों की हार कभी नहीं होती है, so it's always good to keep trying.
अभी जैसे मैंने बोला, पिछली 1-2 फिल्में अच्छी नहीं हैं, तो मैं थक गया हूँ, थोड़ा डर भी रहा हूँ.
Right, I mean, obviously we're talking about cinema, we're talking about entertainment. Now, I remember at the ET Global Business Summit in February, you talked about and you predicted that digital cinema will be more interactive in the sense that it will not just become an experience, but the viewer themselves will, the cinema, the film, and whatever is being shown will actually become the experience in the sense that it will be more interactive. So, what plans have you made to kind of join sort of like, I know there's a lot of films or red chili movies that's on Netflix, but I also heard there was supposed to be a web series as well that you were going to do for Netflix. I mean, what's the plans on that?
The digital platform, I personally believe, is more interactive, not only that will be touch and feel as so. I think that may also happen. There will be different storylines that you can follow watching, choosing upon the path you want to take in a story maybe. So you could be watching Sholi and you would like to watch it from Gabbar Singh's point of view maybe. And it may become that interactive, not very soon, but in the next 5-6 years, because it will take a lot of storytelling and of course technology to make that happen, but that will happen. But I think interactive in terms of, digital platform gives us the freedom to actually have a high lifestyle, to be honest. Because I've always believed that, making money, when we were growing up, buying a big car was a big thing, having a small house for yourself was a big thing. These were the necessities, they still are, but these were the goals we had. I think as we are moving forward, the goal is going to be being able to do what you wish to, as and when and where. That I think is going to be a better lifestyle. Lifestyle is not going to be able to, because now you don't need to buy a car, you have Uber and you have, most of the kids do that. So it's not going to be choosing about things, how do I say, things which were conventionally what made you feel life is good. I think the new concept of a better life is to do what you want, when you and wherever you wish to. And entertainment is going to take the first step towards that by going digital. And somewhere down the line, when you have it digitally available on your telephone or your laptop or your iPad or wherever you're moving, I think somewhere down the line, the whole idea, there's this old world, our distributors of films talk about this. लोगों को वो दो जो वो देखना चाहते हैं. And then all of us come through with our intellect and thoughts and processes and say, no, हम कुछ नया बनाएंगे. So there has always been this little fight. Yeah. But I think at the end of it all, audience is going to lead in terms of taste, what they wish to. And within that taste, you have to bring in the newness. So with the digital platforms, I think you're going to get feedback very fast.
Yes.
The feedback will be that you won't click on it. We don't understand this in the cinema. You go there, tickets are sold, everybody gives you an opportunity on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The weekend is still considered the place that you go for a new movie. So there is a lot of leeway that is given to filmmakers like us on a weekend. That means we give it a chance. But when it's on the digital platform, I think giving chances will become less. And when they give you less chance, they are making their choice clearer to you. So I think there will be a lot of media that will be created, which will be according to the choice of the viewer. And it will obviously change and range because of the ages that are on digital media. At this point in time, I'm made to understand, I may be wrong, that people, like say, my wife's mother or her grandmother, they really don't use the digital medium so much. Maybe apart from a few little things. But they're getting open to it. The younger people are going to be, I think, cold-hearted. I think audience is going to be cold-hearted. And when you're cold-hearted, the choice is clear. And a lot of the content is going to become interactive in those terms that, oh, this is not what the youngsters want. We really need to quickly make media which is likable by certain ages and different stages of life. That's the first interaction that will happen.
Well, it seems like a very fascinating future lying ahead for the new digital cinema. Now, also, what I also liked about the summit in February, that what he said was also that it won't just be a few superstars, there'll be more superstars developing as a result of this. As a result, there probably are already so many superstars. There's digital superstars, like there's YouTube stars, there's Instagram stars, and I'd just like to add two and two together, because obviously at the moment in Bollywood, there is a trend of moderately budgeted Bollywood films being profitable at the box office. Be it like Queen, indie medium of recent as well. So how do you feel that this trend will reduce the impact of star power?
I can get to pass to this, Anuj. I think moderately budgeted films, or films which we sometimes call middle-of-the-road cinema, which is not completely sold out to commerce like the superhero films, or which is completely offbeat, which just goes to art festivals. Not to look upon either. I think both are wonderful expressions of cinema. But somewhere in the middle, what we call the middle-of-the-road cinema, has always been there. You have, Rishikesh Mukherjee. I'm going to take names that you won't know about. You have to
I love Rishikesh Mukherjee's especially Millie. It's one of my favorites.
Okay, so you have Sai Paranjali and lots of filmmakers. This is when I was young. And now also you have filmmakers like that. You'll have Anurag Kashyap, you'll have Anurag Basu,
Dibakar Banerjee.
Wow, you got this one.
I know one correct thing. I feel happy now.
So they are going to be middle of the road cinema has this amazing appeal. Like you can say what you want. It's not off the hook completely. And because of its low budget, it's something that every producer, we have some wonderful media people here, personal here, and I've noticed, whenever it gives a choice to a producer or a filmmaker, that instead of going the whole hog, which you can't afford to all the time, because it is started. Unfortunately or fortunately, I think the existence of any creative medium is dependent on a star. It's unfortunate to some, maybe it's fortunate to people like me. So if anything that is a mode of entertainment, if it's a sporting club that you love, apart from the history and the fact that you belong to that area, it does come down to who are the stars in that sporting club.
That's true.
Similarly in a movie, similarly in theatre, similarly in music. It is media, entertainment media will always be star-driven. But you can't always afford to have a star in your film, to have a big budget film. So I think medium budget cinema is it is the call of the day. It's got a good storyline, it is more creative, And as a business, I think that's something that really needs to be the stipend. It should be the bread and butter of any production house.
Definitely.
I think that's the way to go down. I think big production houses like YRF have Y Films. They do the medium budget cinema. All of them. I think UTV, when they were running films, they had Spot Boy. And everybody has an arm. And I'm sure, I don't know, so do we at Red Chilies, that we should have these medium budget cinemas, which are actually going to be the sustainers of any film production house.
Fantastic, and I think it's rising as well. I think as you said, the middle cinema, I think it's rising as well. It's coming a lot more to prominence. Like before, I think a film like perhaps, let's say, Hindi medium, or maybe perhaps a moderately budgeted film wouldn't perhaps be looked upon as much, but now it's like celebrated and loved a lot more. People are giving a lot more prominence to it as well.
Yeah, at a personal level, yes, audience love will be there, but I think the other thing that is going to happen with digital platforms is that we may lose our medium budget cinema because, there might be a logic and business in releasing a small to medium budget cinema on the digital platform directly instead of bringing it to a theater, because theater is expensive, the popcorn is expensive, the samosas are expensive, the parking ticket is expensive, and if it's a trashy film, then you feel even worse that you have taken your whole family out, you've booked a weekend, you've told the husband come back home on time, and then you go there and it's trash and you spend so much money. So sometimes you don't want to take a chance like that, and if it happens too often with big budgeted films, I think, and I noticed this already, so it's actually not a scary thing. I think it should encourage filmmakers to realize that because the whole idea of a consumer product like entertainment is that we are dependent upon the consumer to like it or dislike. Even if you're a big star, as a producer, director, or an actor, you can't dole out trash. It will be finally rejected. The leeway that you get on weekend is not going to always stay there. Digital medium is here to stay and be utilized, and people will shift to a medium and take away your audience from the theater. So a lot of people lament, people are not coming to theaters. There will be a lot of theater owners from India who might come and say, the ticket pricing has to be done. We need to be given even more subsidies, and we need to let the theaters, survive. And I think theater will survive. The content is good.
Absolutely.
So medium budget cinema, if it starts falling, not into the hands of digital players, but if we are not careful as big filmmakers and production houses, we will lose out a big chunk of our audience, and we'll have to find a new way of entertaining people in cinema theaters than we already have.
Absolutely. Well, as I say, content is king, so we look forward to seeing what the future actually holds. I mean, talking of future, according to media reports, Bollywood revenues by 2021 is estimated to be almost worth $3 billion. So what is your take on this trend, and do you feel Bollywood is ready to deal with such growth in revenue?
It's $3 billion by 2020.
$3 billion by 2020.
But when it seems to stick around for 2022. A couple of years more to go, there is a big discussion about how the television industry in India grew many folds very fast compared to Indian films, not just Bollywood. I think Indian films growth rate has been much slower compared to television. And that also is the other issue that we have in entertainment, is that there is a certain amount of ratio that needs to be maintained in the number of theaters per audience area. And I think that ratio is still very small in India. I think the ratio is lopsided. We have very few theaters compared to the kind of audience we can garner. So it's unfortunate. Like I mentioned, one of the biggest is Bahubali and Dangal ever in the history of Indian cinema was able to get eyeballs about 11 to 15 crores in a country which has 130 crore people and who are cinema lovers. You're we all say Indian Bollywood. Everyone loves Bollywood. Cinema is so big, but only 15 crore people have watched the greatest film made in this country in the past few years. Out of at least 100 crore that should at least give it a see or watch it. But a lot of them can't do it because when you go into the interiors of India, or if you leave the city part of India, if you go to the satellite towns, or smaller than satellite towns, there are not enough theaters for people to throng or come to a theater. The accessibility, of course, a lot of it has changed because now we don't do it on reel, we digitally
Yeah,
reel it.
it's digital.
That's helped a lot.
Yeah.
But I think there's a huge market for entrepreneurs to get into making cheap creators. When I say cheap, I don't mean cheap in the sense of that they are good, but in terms of maybe not air conditioning, but air cool, maybe not completely fix it to the ground, brick and mortar, but some kind of a temporary arrangement which can be done. I've seen it in Davos and places where they make these huge tents which look permanent, but they're not. And I think there is a huge business opportunity in India to create theatres which are made at a cheaper cost, prefabricated, etc., digitally beamed. I know a friend of mine, Puneet Goenka from Z, who keeps talking about how even now movies are taken on buses. He goes with it. He goes into the interiors of the country and he says it's really fun and different that you take a bus and you put on a screen and then you put a projector and watch movies, and it's really fun to do it. But also it's telling that there is this need to create theatres for Indian audience to come to. And if you're able to do it, like it's fashionable to keep saying China for everything when it comes to development. But it truly is. 10 years ago, China did not have a film industry, or it had people wanting to watch it, had a film industry, did not have this, had the market also, did not have the platform to take that market. Today, whatever little I know of these numbers, most of the Hollywood films, when they release the rest of the world, the biggest of Hollywood films, are waiting for it to release in China or get a release in China because it's a bit controlled. To get a release in China to make up for all the business that they hope they can. And sometimes the Chinese business is much bigger than the world business because they've created enough theatres for people to come to, and they are 130 and 35 million like us, and they have been able to allow the audience to get that look into cinema, at least giving them the opportunity. And the businesses are huge; they run into millions, and I think India is genuinely a ground for. It's genuinely a big fertile ground right now to create theatres.
Absolutely. Well, it certainly seems that India and Bollywood, especially cinema, has an amazing future lying ahead. Thank you so much, Shah Rukh. But before we wrap up the interview, could you kindly recite the Jab Tak Hai Jaan poetry for us? Please. I mean, I know I'm not Katrina Kaif, but just pretend I'm,
I'm an actor. I can lie to Katrina, I can lie to you. First of all, thank you very much for our invitations to listen to me. I know all of you are busy people. I want to thank everyone once again for having me here and giving me this wonderful piece of chess. I'll come and work towards getting the other pieces too. But thank you for having me over here. At the end of, when I come to intellectual get-togethers like this, and what is this called? Changers.
Game changers.
Game changers. Words like I don't even remember in the morning. So, when I come to intellectual gatherings like this, where such wonderful, such fantastic, and congratulations to you all for being here and contributing to not only India but to the globe with all your inputs and intelligence. I normally prepare an intelligence speech and come because I don't know what intelligence has to say. Like I say, a lot of things that happen to me by chance. But at the end of it all, I remember I was at Yale once. I was invited, and I was told very clearly that my speech should be normal, I should be dressed properly, my humor should be in control, because these are strict places, and kids are going to pass out of colleges and schools, and they should not hear any of the nonsense that I normally spew out in my films. So I was told, be like this, and what was wonderful, after 1 hour of speaking to kids and children, and I was sweating inside my suit because I needed to make sure that I sound correct. The dean walked up to me and he said, you know what, and I think it was an Englishman, and he said, all this is very good, thank you Mr. Khan, but can we do chaya chaya? So I realized at the end of it all, an actor is an actor. In India we call them bhand. Bhand means, yes, you entertain people through your antics, through your words, through your poems, through your poetry, through your song and dance. And so at the end of the most intellectual of meetings, the moderator normally does tell me, यार कुछ गाना वाना गा दो, छैया छैया गा दो, ये अपना डायलॉग बोलो, ये जो तुमने सब बाकी बोला है, इसका कोई मीनिंग नहीं. So thank you very much, Anuj, for allowing me this opportunity that I go away from this wonderful convention, feeling useful, not by the words I've said about Indian cinema, but by the fact that wherever there is another Katrina Kaif around the world, तेरी आंखों की नमकीन मस्तियाँ, तेरी हंसी की बेपरवाह गुस्ताखियाँ, तेरी जुल्फों की लहराती अनवाइयाँ, नहीं भूलूंगा मैं जब तक है जान, जब तक है जान, जब तक है जान.
And this is why this is the king of heartstrings, when Shah